Okay, so now we're going to be talking about simplifying expressions with the distributive property. Now, just as a review, let's just go ahead and go over the distributive property. Now remember, when we're performing the distributive property, what we're wanting to do is multiply this number sitting right outside of the parentheses by every term that is inside the parentheses. So we have 4 times 2x plus 4 times 3. So 4 times 2x, 4 times 2 is 8, so 8x plus 4 times 3, which is 12, and this one has been simplified. Okay, so now that we have a nice little refresher on the distributive property, let's jump into one that's a little bit more complicated. Now we have distributive property right here in the middle, okay, right in the middle of our expression, okay? So let's go ahead and distribute 18 into the parentheses, so it'll be 18 times 2n and 18 times negative 6. So let's make sure we rewrite our expression. We have 9n plus 18 times 2n plus 18 times negative 6 plus 13. So that 9n will stay the same, plus 18 times 2n. 18 times 2 is 36, so 36n plus 18 times negative 6. Now we know that it's negative 6, so we could just make this, it's a positive times a negative, which is a negative, so negative 108 plus 13. Now we have two sets of like terms, and we've already learned about combining like terms. So we have 9n and 36n, and we have negative 108 and positive 13. So 9n plus 36n is 45n, and negative 108 plus 13. Now we see that the negative number is obviously the bigger absolute value, so we know that our final answer there is going to be negative. So we just need to add 13, make negative 108 just a little bit smaller in its absolute value. So this should be 45n minus 95. Okay, like 108 minus 13 there. Okay, now let's move on to our very last one. We have 3/4 x plus 2 times 9 minus 1/4 x. So we have 3/4 x. We need to distribute that 2 to everything inside the parentheses. So plus 2 times 9 plus 2 times negative 1/4 x. The 3/4 x obviously is just going to drop down and stay the same. 2 times 9 is 18, and 2 times negative 1/4 x. Okay, well, we see that that's a positive times a negative, so this is going to be negative 2. When we multiply fractions, we just multiply straight across. 2 times negative 1, so 2/4 x. Okay, and now we can combine our like terms. Well, we just have a couple like terms here, 3/4 x and minus 2/4 x, and lucky for us, they have a common denominator, so we can just subtract straight across. 3 minus 2 is 1, so we have 1/4 x plus 18, and we have combined like terms. We have simplified expressions using the distributive property.